I stopped charging his phone at night. By morning, he was screaming in my face. I had been plugging in my husband's phone every night for 6 years because he said he was too tired to remember. I never thought much about it until I stopped. My husband Terrence didn't do anything around the house. I cooked every meal, cleaned every room, did every load of laundry, bathed both kids, and put them to bed alone every single night. Terrence came home from work, ate the dinner I made, and planted himself on the couch until he fell asleep. If I asked him to help with the kids, he said he was exhausted. If I asked him to take out the trash, he said he'd do it tomorrow and then never did. I had the same conversation with him dozens of times about pulling his weight, and he always promised to do better, and nothing changed. The phone thing started because he'd wake up with a dead battery and blame me for not reminding him, so I just started doing it myself to avoid the argument. I'd find his phone wherever he left it and plug it in next to the bed so it would be ready in the morning. I did this every single night for 6 years like it was part of my bedtime routine. One night, I was exhausted after working a full shift as a nurse and then coming home to 2 sick kids who needed medicine and baths and stories while Terrence watched TV with his headphones in. I finally got the kids down at 10 p.m. and I saw his phone on the coffee table and I just thought, why am I doing this? So I didn't. I went to bed without plugging it in. I woke up at 6 a.m. to Terrence standing over me screaming, "What the hell is wrong with you?" he shouted. "My phone is dead. My trainer texted me about moving our session and now I have no idea if she's even going to be there." I sat up and told him I forgot. He got right in my face and said, "You forgot? You do this on purpose to sabotage me. You can't stand seeing me try to better myself, so you pull this crap." I asked him why he was acting like this over a gym session and he screamed, "Because unlike you, I actually care about my body. You sit around in your scrubs looking like a zombie and you wonder why I need the gym to feel like a human being." I told him to get out of my face and he said, "Gladly. I can't even look at you right now." He grabbed his keys and stormed out without his phone, which he'd never done before in his life. Something about the way he panicked made me pick it up and plug it in myself. I watched it turn on and the notifications flood in. Right at the top was a text from someone named Brianna that said, "Where are you, baby? I'm waiting in the parking lot in that outfit you like." I scrolled through 6 months of messages with a woman he'd been meeting at his gym every morning. Good morning texts, shirtless selfies he'd never sent me, plans for hotel rooms and parking lot meetups. She called him her king and he called her his escape from the nightmare at home. He wrote paragraphs about how cold I was, how I never appreciated him, how I'd let myself go after the kids. She sent him gym selfies and said she'd never let that happen to her body. I took screenshots of everything and sent them to myself. Then I sent them to his mother with the message, "Thought you should see who your son really is." Then I sent them to his boss, who was copied on a chain where Terrence bragged about leaving work early to meet Brianna at motels. Then I sent them to the family group chat. By the time Terrence came home 2 hours later, his phone was exploding. His mother left voicemails calling him a disgrace to the family name. His boss emailed saying they needed to talk Monday morning. His sister texted that she always knew he was a terrible husband, and now everyone else knew too. He walked into the kitchen where I was making the kids breakfast and his face was white. "What did you do?" he whispered. "What the hell did you do?" I told him I finally stopped carrying him, and he fell. He started shaking and said, "You ruined my life. You ruined everything over nothing." I asked him if Brianna was nothing, and he started crying. "She didn't mean anything. It was just an escape. You don't understand the pressure I'm under." I asked him what pressure. I asked him what he did around here that was so exhausting. I asked him why he had energy to wake up at 5:30 a.m. to see her but couldn't stay awake long enough to read his own children a bedtime story. He just stood there crying with no answer. I told him to pack a bag and go stay with his mother since she was so eager to talk to him. He begged me to think about the kids, and I said, "I am thinking about the kids. I'm thinking about what kind of man I want them to think is normal." The divorce was finalized 4 months later. Brianna dumped him when she found out he'd been telling her I was the problem the whole time.